Well, and see, I think that's honestly just such a cool. And and did you ever think 35 years later here you would be, still, as strong as ever?
I think I never really thought that far ahead. I got to tell you, I had a regular job and stuff,
Yeah.
but I like the people. I like what I'm doing. It was always interesting to me, and I guess I've done it because I not only made money, but it was just fun.
That's really cool. Well, and everyone that's in the Riverbend area that's driven in and around Godfrey or Alton or North Alton knows the spot right there on West Delmar. And has that always been the location for you guys?
No, we've been in so many locations over the time. We had a building right before this over on Elm Street,
Mm-hmm.
but we needed more room. Before that, we were in the Cracker Factory building, and we kind of got drove out of there. We love that location, love the building, but we got drove out of there when we had the storm and the top floor
Oh yeah,
collapsed.
that makes sense.
Big disaster.
Yeah, that is one. And do you guys like where you're at now on Delmar?
Oh yeah, I like it. The building's great. It had been a machine shop originally, and it's built well, and we rehabbed it, and we got 6,000 square feet, and it's just a big one owner shop. I love it.
That's awesome. Well, and see, I was just going through your Facebook page, and really, there's a lot of great deals too. Like the 50% off shelves, and really some great products that are out there.
Yeah, we have a shelf area. Audrey named it Mark's Markdowns,
Nice.
and we put new stuff out of the all the time there. And sometimes we're willing to deal. I try to buy nice things for people, things they'll enjoy, things they can use. And I pay a lot of attention to my customers and what they're looking for.
Absolutely. Well, and now for the folks that maybe are a little bit newer to going into the antique stores, or maybe they just haven't had a chance to stop in yet, what can they expect when they walk into the doors of your shop?
Well, lots of stuff. Right in the front, we've got a big jukebox that you can pick a song. It's on free play and play it. And we have just about anything you could imagine that was in a house in the last probably, we go back to the 1800s on the earliest stuff,
Yeah.
but it could be things from the 80s or 70s sometimes, because if people are looking for it, then I'm going to buy it.
Well, and honestly, just going through some of your different furniture options, like I just scrolled through that beautiful mirror that you guys had. Just I don't know if it's still for
It's
sale,
still available.
but I mean, here let's see if can I pull this up. Yeah, look at that. I'm getting good at my job, Mark.
Very professional.
Look at this. So, I mean, that's a beautiful mirror, though. I mean, let me see. Can I zoom in
It's
on?
called a pier mirror, and it came out of a house. The people moved and downsized,
Mhm.
and they loved it so much that they had it professionally created and moved to their new townhouse, but it was in their garage, and it was just sitting there for years and years.
Wow.
And we kind of freed it out of its crate, brought it to the shop, and it's awesome. If you had a big house, entryway, wanted to make a statement, it's just really nice. And truthfully, you couldn't, for the price we asked for it, you couldn't buy anything. You go buying something new, and you just don't get the quality a lot of
No.
times that you used to get. And you got to think, like, we've got one cabinet that's from about 1820.
Oh.
And to last that long, I mean, it's pegged, put together really well, and you get quality. But then we sell dressers with deep drawers that people like. And those things that we get are vintage, but they're also pretty inexpensive too.
Right. Well, and I think that's a good note too, that there's something for a lot for every price range really when it comes to looking for this stuff, because you can go from I'm sure any gauntlet of ranges of prices when you're talking about antique furniture, especially when you're going back to the 1820s, and you're especially that mirror, because that was just a beautiful piece. But it's good to note for maybe younger people that are trying to find their own style, or maybe they're just trying to find that piece for their first apartment or even the first home. It's not a bad option to go take a look and see if that's something that fits your budget.
And it's something that younger people have really discovered. We kind of skipped a couple of generations.
I was
where
going to ask you
not
about
as many
that. Yeah.
people did, but now 40 and under, they're interested in the story. They're interested in the history. They want to use it. They want real wood. They don't want to buy at IKEA. Now, they might want to paint it. And I don't care. They paint it now. It might have been painted before. It got stripped maybe in the 80s. Now they buy it. They paint it pink. And, but 50 years from now, somebody else might buy it and strip it again. So it's just kind of the life of a piece like that, where a piece of furniture that can just last for years and years and be something useful that you always think, gosh, I was smart buying that.
Well, and now whenever you take a walk around the store, what's your favorite part of it? Is there a section that really speaks to you, or is there a type of is there a certain antique item that that really you're kind of specialized in, or you really love the most?
You know, we do lots of our root is glassware.
Oh,
china.
for sure, yeah.
And we have lots, and the china part and the stemware, we sell lots. We also sell online.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gives us a good balance. I always tell people when I'm at houses buying that it lets us buy things that nobody else can buy. They think, oh, you can't sell china. Well, you can. There's people that buy it all over and looking for replacement pieces. And then now weddings. Everybody's wanting to do weddings where the plates are all different, or the stems are different, or sometimes they want the plates the same. And they are looking for those kind of things, and that's turning to be a bigger thing here lately.
Really?
Yeah.
And now, honestly, I think it's so fascinating, though, 35 years, you have a chance to see the trends kind of change, too, and what people are interested in. And right now, you mentioned kind of that the wedding type of route to go. Is there any other things that you're seeing when it comes to trends when it comes to your store?
You know, I think people always buy what they remember from when they were younger. They tend to a lot of times, and they're buying memories and things that speak to them. So as time moves on, people move into the future, and you know the thing just moves along. But it has changed. There are trends, and they are much quicker than they used to be. Yeah. Yellowstone came out, and suddenly everybody wanted their house looking like a ranch. And they get the big horns and the hides. They come in saying, do you have any horns? And and those trends come and go. But what you have to do is, what I do is just pay attention to the trends. But I also buy what I think people have always liked. And lately, a lot of our ads, we say things you can use, because I really focus on that, because if you can use it, you can enjoy it for the beauty of what it always has been, but also you can enjoy it from its use.
Yeah.
And but you can collect things and not have any use at all. Lots of people do. And, you know, when I go into houses and I buy a lot, and what's interesting is that people take and they have a case of glass shoes, and they're selling it. And sometimes their kids don't even understand. They're not just glass shoes. They are memories. They are bookmarks into their memories. And the people see this shoe, and they remember the day they bought it, what happened that day. It was 90 degrees. The kid dumped ice cream all down his front. And they remember. And a lot of those memories you would forget. They're there, but you can't get to them. But when you see the objects, you remember.
Right.
And really, that's valuable. And I understand when people sell their stuff, that it isn't just stuff.
Right.
And so I think that's why I get along with them pretty good.
That's really cool. Well, you're right. It's all about that relationship and really understanding, what that transaction means, because you aren't selling a microwave, at a yard sale. These are items that really do mean something and hold that value, and I think that's really important. Now, I was just scrolling through, and this is where I think I make this point all the time. The new blow molds that you see at the big box stores, don't even look half as good as the old ones used to look. That's just my opinion.
And we've got some now that I bought a while back that are from back in the 90s, which that's got a little time to it now. And the person that owned them kept them all in their original plastic. They're in great condition, and they are better than what you go buy now. And you can always change the lights out in them and make them LEDs, so you'll have cooler lights in them and stuff. But
if they're the ones I'm looking at, they're in great condition for being as old as they are. Really, you know, I mean, they look perfect, and I just love it because I was going to go get some last year for Christmas party, and I was like, you know what, I'll stop in and see what they have. Like, I don't even want any of these. They're overpriced, and they I feel like the wind's gonna splinter these in about 2 days. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting because right now Audrey's been working hard. We had a room we used for shipping and stuff. She cut the room in half, did tons of work, and we're working right now on a holiday room for. Oh wow! And we're not ready yet, but we will have. And we'll have blow molds in there. We have Christmas Village. I bought 3 truckloads of Department 56 Christmas Village stuff.
Nice.
Over 550. We're going to put those in there. We have ornaments and everything. That's not ready yet, but it gives you something to look forward to. And that's one of the keys to being successful is to continually reinvent yourself in the business. And I think that's what's let us survive when so many other shops have disappeared.
And now, with that being said, what's some of the, just before we take a break, I got to ask you this. What's the strangest request you've got? You know, you said someone comes in and wants to find some horns for their now Yellowstone ranch house. Has there ever been any other requests that you're like, you know what, I don't think I'll ever hear that one again?
Not a request. I will tell you one of the strangest things was another antique dealer that used to have a stuffed cat by the front door. A real stuffed cat. Well, curled up.
No way.
Yes.
Oh.
And that was strange. And I've seen a lot of, but you know what? I don't buy things like that. So if I'm a bunch of stuffed cats.
Don't call Mark. Don't
call me.
Yeah. And then real quick, just for, this is a blow mold, okay? Right here.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a family, don't it?
It does.
It's a haunted Christmas family.
It's like the new version of the Addams Family, just the blow molds. Now, are those still available?
I'm not sure. The mouse is sold. I know for sure. He was a cutie.
Yeah, that's cool. I love those. They just look so much better, you know?
But we have others if we don't have those. I think we do have most of those.
Really cool. Well, we'll do this. Mark, you ready to take I got to pay a bill. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
9:34.
A
little bit of change. It's a Wednesday morning, and we'll come back and talk with Mark, my antique store, a little bit more. 35 years in business and more to go. We'll have this conversation again right after this.
Visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sounds like the radio back in '94, you know. Hook the speaker up to my soul. It sounds like the radio. Sounds like a damn good time. Soaking up some neon light. Well, it's a little bit of fiddle and a whole
Welcome back.
lot of country.
9:36. Back with Mark, my antique store. You know, as we're talking about the 35 years, you were just telling me when we were coming back from break that you were just in Edwardsville yesterday. And so not too much driving to go pick some of this stuff up, or do you have to do some routing whenever you're looking at some of the items you're bringing in?
Well, most of the time, things are local. But a lot of times people will have estates further away, or maybe there's an auction opportunity where I can buy. And so like when I went to Evansville, we literally bought, you can't even imagine, probably 50 3-foot high boxes worth of stuff of china and stuff, a lot of Haviland china and other good china and glassware. And we have to do that sometimes, and it expands what we can get and helps us bring nice things to people.
Well, and now when it comes to looking at china and looking at different glass pieces, what do you look for when it comes to quality? Because I'm sure that's an art in itself, is to find the truly good pieces, because that really is what you're known for.
Yeah, well, it's experience.
Mm-hmm.
You do it. I tell you what, when you buy something and you make money, you remember it. And when you lose money, you remember it even more. So, over the years, and sometimes, like my wife, Audrey, she is in the shop all the time. She does more work than me. She is my key cog there. And sometimes we'll disagree, if you can imagine. And she'll say, why did you buy that? Why did you buy that? And it's really nice if I'm proven right, but sometimes I'm proven wrong too.
It's a flip of a coin.
Yeah, so people think, everything you buy, you're making all this money on. Well, I've got over 24,000 items in the shop. I always tell people, them are things I haven't sold yet. And
that's right.
And so you have to, sometimes you make a lot of, when I buy a deal, maybe I have to count on part of it paying for a lot of the other and letting me wait.
Yeah.
But if I'm buying from you, that's a good thing, because, I can buy more and help empty your place.
Well,
maybe I'll shop at your house.
that's right. Please, I'm overflowing. With that being said, though, Mark, do you find them from estate sales mostly, or do people call you and say, hey?
People call me.
Oh, is that really where you're at right now?
I used to go to estate sales a lot, and I used to go to auctions and all these things, but I do a little less of that now because so many people have known me. They'll call me and they'll say, hey, I'm such and such. You were at my uncle's house 8 years ago. Would you like to come? We've got an estate. Would you like to come look at it?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I go to so many places. I used to always remember, but I think my head's full now. And I may not remember, but they'll say to me, well, you'll remember the house because remember there was a bear trap there. And I'd say, I remember the bear trap. So I remember stuff a lot of times, and interesting people too, because I meet a lot of interesting people.
Well, I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you've met, honestly, probably thousands of people along the 35 years at this point in time.
Oh, sure.
Well, and now when it comes, I was just, again, scrolling through some of the really cool things, like, the vintage toys that people might have had when they were, children in the 60s or 70s or even the 80s, and some of that, is available at some points at your shop. Like, I just saw, like, this was from a year ago, but even stuff like this, which I think is just really cool, is this, just toys like this and like the slot cars and the different things you have. I think that's awesome.
And slot cars, trains, all those things are popular. And a lot of that stuff goes kind of quick. I tell people, we keep a want list. You ought to get on the want list if you're really interested. And then when we get those items, we give you a call, and you can be the first to know. And we're people that really call you. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. You get a lot of neat things.
And now, do you ever get, at this point, like, feelings whenever you're going to a place for the first time to maybe pick something like, this is going to be a dud today, or this is going to be the jackpot?
Sometimes before the call, I get a feeling about how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm disappointed, and sometimes it's right.
That's what I was curious.
But it does, you never make assumptions about people and what they have. And people will think, oh, I got the greatest things. And really, they may be things that mean something to them, but they don't mean something to anybody else.
That's what I was going to. So what do you do to like kind of, I guess, give somebody the turn down service in a nice way? Because like sometimes like the Beanie Babies, everyone thought they had $1 million Princess Diana doll, or, you know, and I guess Avon Glass is kind of in that same category.
There's a lot of categories. You know, the thing is that even in those categories, there could be a few things that are still worth money.
Really?
So, you know, you can pick through and find those special items that people still look for. But really, I get people all the time, and one of the things I tell them is, maybe I can't buy anything.
Yeah.
But heck, I'm coming there, and while I'm there, I'll give you an idea what you could do, what your opportunities are. Maybe I just free you from it by telling you there really isn't a lot of value there.
Yeah.
And you don't know. And let me tell you, I have lots of opportunities to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind walking away from a house. If I thought it would go better at an auction for you, I would tell you, take it to the auction.
That's really interesting.
And tell you where to go. I mean, it's just part of what I do. And let me tell you, I don't charge anything for coming out. I don't want people abusing me. I don't want to be buried under 50 million calls. But you know, if you call a heating and cooling guy, he charges you for just showing up.
Right.
And, but I haven't got to that point yet. Sometimes I think, you know, it's just the two of us. And I think we may have to treat our time with a little more value sometime, but we haven't yet.
Well, and now, you know, take me through your guys' dynamic here, and really just how the business operates. Do you and Audrey kind of take over like the same responsibilities?
Oh,
or?
No.
Okay.
No, she's a smart one.
Good answer.
I hope she listens.
That's a good answer, Mike.
She is the worker bee.
Mm-hmm.
When I was working, I was a computer programmer for a long time, and when I was working, I spent all my off time doing this stuff, but she ran the shop and the business day to day, and now she's the key person on everything there. I'm the person that goes out and buys. I'm the person that she'll say does all the big planning.
Nice.
I'm the person, you know, that does that kind of stuff, like unloads the trailer today and figures out where it's all going and tells her it's going to be okay. We'll catch up someday. But that's why we work so well together. And I don't know if we'll be doing it forever. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we still enjoy it, and that's why we're still doing it.
And that's what I was curious about, because it seems like you guys both enjoy everything you're doing. Just seeing it from your social media and just, you know, from what you're talking about today, there's still a lot of love there, you know?
Yeah, and it's a neat business. You know, during COVID time, we went in, we couldn't be open, and for 2.5 months we were closed. But at that time, we had one employee, and we had her come in anyway. And we were able to continue selling online, and online sales went through the roof during that time. And so we actually did better during COVID. We were kind of a crazy business that did better. But that's the beauty. Like, as I was driving in, I noticed right when I got here that I think we sold about $250 online in the last hour. So,
wow,
you know, that helps us.
Yeah.
Sell in there and then sell in here, and it makes a balanced deal that kind of roughs out if summer gets a little slower in the shop. Online might be different. Maybe people stay in the house and they shop online.
Yeah.
And I tell you, the online changes have really impacted this business as far as how you got to sell to successfully sell, and how you buy, and what people expect, and how fast interest change.
That's interesting. That really is interesting. Now that you say that with the digital age, because you're right. I mean, it seems like everybody's thought process is on about a millisecond by millisecond basis anymore.
It's accelerated. Everything's so much faster. Trends are faster. I mean, instantly you start selling a certain pattern to China. And if you really looked, it was because some TV show or something had it on there, and now everybody's looking for it. And I hate to think that we all respond like that, but we do.
We do. Well, and you know what else I hate to think of is all the stuff that I'm throwing away now and will throw away in the next 5 years, that in 50 years I'm going to go, CJ, why the hell did you throw that away?
You know what? There are people that probably go through your trash.
Yeah, you're right.
There are people dumpster diving, and they bring stuff to me for me to buy. So yeah, your junk is probably making somebody else wealthy. You probably have the best junk.
That's right. Well, and now you're on eBay, right? You have an eBay store?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
and now what's the tag on that? How do we find you on eBay?
Well, you can go to our website, www.myantiquestore.com, and you can go there, and we have links to our
right
eBay thing. And so we also have like a little app that takes our eBay stuff and makes it into a store on our website. But you'd ultimately end up buying. Of course, if anybody local here, you see anything on there, you can come right to the store. And we ship all the time, even for people that come in our shop that are traveling and they don't want to haul it on the flight, then we ship it to them.
Now, it's one thing to have 100% positive feedback on one sale. When you have 100% positive feedback on 27,000 items, that's a pretty great ratio.
We could do a whole show about selling online and eBay and all that. We would go crazy. Let me tell you, you're going to sell online, you got to have a thick skin. It's got to be about an inch thick. But we do everything right there. We take care of our customers. They have problems, we just refund. We have 30-day free shipping out there. In other words, on returns. Mm-hmm. So if you change your mind, we pretty well don't. And let me tell you, I know most antique dealers wouldn't do that. They couldn't imagine doing it. But you know what? It's how you live in a new market. You build relationships like you do in the shop. You build them online with customers that come back to you. And they say, hey, Mark, but this is such and such. I bought these things, and I'd like to buy some more. And you wouldn't think you could have that relationship with somebody that's a stranger online out on eBay, but you can because they just keep coming back and you keep taking care of them.
Well, and Mark, you're right. And Mark, any more people are getting engaged to AI now. I don't know if you saw that story, but
I didn't see that one. I missed it.
People are
Another show.
People are getting engaged.
You could bring AI on here.
Yeah, you can. So I don't know, relay connections or anywhere. But what I think is important, though, is like what you said, the human connection you guys have on your sales. Because what you could do is like what everyone else does when it comes to like Etsy shops anymore, and that's automate some of these processes and all that. But when you really tailor make it to that person that you're selling to, I mean, it's really cool to see that. We're scrolling through. I have your website, your eBay store pulled up just to show.
Isn't that neat? Yeah,
oh, it's beautiful.
Almost 3,000 items.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
saw that. But it's just, to me, 27,000 items sold, and you have 100% positive feedback. I mean, that's not...
We've been on there for 28 years on eBay, almost to their founding.
No kidding.
And
they need to give you something to recognize.
Yeah, in fact, it's a long time. Well, I got Meg Whitman, that was one of the first people that was on, ran eBay. We became power sellers way back, and she sent me a certificate she signed and stuff.
That's
cool.
So,
I mean,
that's cool.
It's just kind of neat.
Oh, man, you have some great stuff on here. Look at some of these pieces.
Yeah, It's a lot of fun.
Wow, and these are all in your store too, correct?
Yeah, and
so we can
soon people are going to be able to come to our shop. We're having a sale in September.
Oh, we haven't even talked about that yet. What's the sale?
Do we have time?
Yeah, I'm nosy.
Okay. 35 years we've been in business, and we're going to do 35% off, 1% for every year. We have never done a sale like that. We're not going out of business, But Audrey said we needed to clear room. We wanted to do something, and really 20% we could have done. We've done that before. That wasn't enough. We wanted to take care of everybody. 35%. I would say this is a good time if you wanted to visit the store.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be doing that September 10th through the 20th on the days we're open.
100%. That's a really great deal, and thanks for filling us in on that. And with that being said, is there anything else coming down the pipeline? I know you have the holiday room that's set to open up in a couple of weeks, months, before the holiday season starts.
Yeah, it'll be opening up before October 1st.
Wonderful.
Hopefully way before, but we're pretty busy right now.
Oh, I bet.
There's only 2 of us. People always say, why aren't you open more days? We're open Wednesday through Saturday. And we used to be open more, but you know what? It takes a lot of work in them off days to be ready to be open.
Oh, I'm sure.
Days.
Well,
we're only 2 people.
Right. Well, and see, why would you be open 5 to 7 days a week if you're going to run yourself thin and then not have the best 5 days when you could have an awesome 3 days or 2, because you're prepared and you're ready to tackle the week.
Right. And we know people miss us because maybe they come in town on Monday and we're not open, but hopefully they can just make a special trip, because otherwise the option would be us not be open at all, because we have to have some kind of life and we have to be able to make these trips out to, we were off work and we got up at 5 a.m, drove to Edwardsville, Indiana, and then brought stuff back in one day, which that's a long trip, a lot of work. And I've got to go unload when I'm done
Right.
here.
I just can't believe you're giving away 35% off. Because normally, let's be honest, even with those, remember that furniture store at the mall that always came back every couple of months after they closed? It seemed like the end, they were always going out of business, every couple of weeks.
There's good money for going out of business.
That's right. But
maybe after this, I'll have a go out of business
you know what
sale.
I'm saying? But it's never 35% off. No one ever got that much. So with 35% though, I think that's such a great thing, because there's so many times where maybe somebody wants that really nice item. Maybe it's $500 because of just it being that good of an item. You're going to be saving a huge amount of money if you go in that month.
Oh yeah, and it's a good time to shop, and hopefully we're busy. We're hoping we're not so busy we can't handle it. There's only 2 of us,
right?
but it should be fun. And we appreciate everybody. Our regular customers, we'll make sure they know about it for sure. And
we'll make sure the world knows about it. I don't know what you just did to yourself.
They watch all across the country. They listen to your show and watch it.
I just want to know. Because especially in this type of business, you don't really have 35% offs very often.
No. Antique dealers tend to maybe discount to another dealer 10% or get rid of something. They might discount a little. They are known for holding on to stuff. We don't want to do that. If I could empty that building instantly and discount it, I tell you what, anybody you want to 50% off, buy the whole place, done. And Liv, we could talk about the building too.
This is so cool, man. Well, I just love this. 35% off. Is this thing working today? 35% off in the whole, when does it start?
September 10th.
September 10th, and now is it one day only?
To the 20th.
September. You have 10 days to get 35% off. 35%. This ain't no 5% off or the 10% off that just kind of takes the tax off.
We never discount like that.
This is awesome.
Not unless it was ready to be gone from the shop totally. Oh. This is all new inventory.
Yeah.
It's not things that have been there that we're just selling you the junk. It's everything.
Well, and that's
Audrey wanted me to mention too, even the jukebox, for all the people that like the jukebox, she has a do not sell price on it, we call it. A price high enough nobody will buy it, but now it's 35% off if you want to buy that jukebox.
I love it. That's even cool. Now that's news. That's news for all the. I love this. So with that being said, 35% off. It runs 10 days. It runs the 10th through the 20th of September. Does it work for the online store?
No.
Okay, that's
but you
good
know
to know.
What? Online, you can make offers. So you know what? If you make an offer online, I would consider it. I probably would do it because, truthfully, everything that is online is available there at the shop. We do have a section in back where we store the online stuff because we can't have people rooting through it and breaking it. But if you came in and you were looking for stemware, we take you back there.
Yeah.
You know, but we had bad experiences. Things get broke in the shop.
Yeah.
And it just happens. It's part of doing business. But you can't sell something online. It'd be broke.
Well, and now just really a great note for everybody too, especially if you're not even in the market. If you just want to look, why are you not just doing some window shopping during the time you got 35% off? I just want to make sure you get that one more time. Mark, real quick, I got to ask you, what's the coolest find you've ever had in the 35 years?
Oh gosh, it's too hard. Probably the bear trap was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was like this big grizzly bear trap. And it came off a farm in Kentucky, went to a restaurant for 40 years. The family hung it there. The restaurant went out of business. They brought it up locally. And when they were downsizing, that was one of the items from the farm I bought. And that was really neat. I mean, we just get interesting things. The pier mirror recently, you just don't come across a mirror like that with a marble insert at the bottom. Them are the things, you know, sometimes you get that you just think about forever.
Yeah.
Because people have neat things. We've sold it already, but I had a great big cabinet that came out of a mansion out of the 1800s in the area, and it was just unbelievable with huge claw feet and great big ball under the feet. And so any category you name, we run into neat things.
This is so cool. And now, Mark, before I let you go, it's been a great conversation with you. Congratulations on 35 years in business and, you know, the years to come, because it just seems like everything's going really well. And it's cool to hear how you guys evolved with tech and through the digital age and during COVID and everything else, where, you know, a lot of people struggled. To hear that you had a pretty good a good span during that with online sales and everything else is fascinating. But the big takeaway is celebrate 35 years in business with My Antique Store September 10th through the 20th. I mean, what are you doing? 35% off the entire store, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm not doing any, because this is such a big number. I don't want to get in trouble.
You could get in trouble, I'm sure. But yes, the entire store.
Well, and to you and Audrey both, seriously, congratulations on everything. It was great talking with you today. It's 9:58, a little bit of change. You can learn more whenever we get this write-up done on RiverBender.com in just a couple of hours here. With that being said, we'll take a break for a top-of-the-hour news daily show on a Wednesday. Comes right around the corner next. Accidents
discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it.
This is Libby Coops. Libby was a math major who graduated from Lewis and Clark in 2010. She's a math teacher and the girls golf coach at Edwardsville High School. She even has her LC diploma in her classroom and always tells her students how life-changing Lewis and Clark was for her.
I'm Libby Coops, and I'm a trailblazer.
Throughout all life stages, you need someone in your corner, guiding you on your health and wellness journey. At OSF Healthcare, that's your primary care provider. Your OSF primary care provider is there for every stage of life. Find a provider today at osfhealthcare.org/primary.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
And don't rock the jukebox. Wanna hear George Jones? 'Cause my heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stone. I don't feel like rocking since my baby's gone. So don't rock the jukebox. Play me a country song.
10:03. Top of the hour news now. Here's what you need to know. Make sure you download that RiverBender.com app today. The St. Louis Area Food Bank set to distribute a month's supply of food and cleaning essentials to 1,000 local families over a 2-day period this week. Here's what we know. Meredith Knopp joined us on the show yesterday. She's the CEO of the food bank, and she filled us in. On Thursday, August the 28th, from 9 a.m. till noon, the first 500 families at Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, not the Worldwide Technology Operations Building, but the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, will receive about 80 pounds of food in that drop-off. Another 500 families will be served on Friday, August the 29th at the All-Star parking lot near Busch Stadium in St. Louis during those same hours. There were no income requirements to participate. The giveaway includes shelf-stable goods, fresh produce, dairy, protein, eggs, and cleaning supplies supported by local farmers. The event celebrates the food bank's 50th anniversary, aiming to support families across the bi-state and encouraging sharing among recipients. Volunteers asked participants to arrive early and practice their patience during the distribution event that does run Thursday and Friday from 9 a.m. till noon at Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison on Thursday, and then next to Busch Stadium on Friday. The Edwardsville Fire Department responded swiftly to a structure blaze on Chapman Street Tuesday evening. Heavy black smoke visible upon arrival, prompting a box alarm that brought additional support from Glen Carbon and Wood River. Crews faced challenges, including a non-functioning fire hydrant, forcing them to connect to an alternate water source. Troy, EMS, and Collinsville Fire Department provided coverage at the Edwardsville Fire Station during the response. Firefighters managed to bring the blaze under control quickly with no injuries reported. Authorities continue to investigate the cause. A fortunate Illinois Lotto player has become a multi-millionaire. $14.6 million. It's not me. There would be signs. He's $14.6 million richer after matching all 6 numbers in the Monday, August 25th drawing, marking the largest Lotto jackpot win of 2025. The winning ticket sold at Crown Mart in East St. Louis, where the store manager, Ed Hamid, expressed excitement about the biggest winning ticket sold in his 9 years. Crown Mart set to receive a $146,000 bonus, which will be reinvested into store improvements and staff rewards. The jackpot concludes a run starting February the 10th that created 5 Illinois Lotto millionaires and nearly $45 million in prizes awarded so far this year. Finally in the news today, Rosewood Cafe in East Alton is getting ready to celebrate its first anniversary with exciting new offerings, including homemade dishes, fall-themed lattes, and soup flights. Owner Tia Hunter opened the cafe last year and emphasized the welcoming atmosphere and the unique menu featuring everything from coffee and sandwiches to pizza and loaded tater tots. The cafe operates morning and afternoon hours with special evening service on weekends and offers free delivery to local school staff on select days, including Monday. They recently obtained a liquor license, and Hunter plans to introduce events like Wine Wednesdays. And despite growth, Rosewood Cafe, they're committed to fresh food and community-focused vibes. At 10:07, that's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend on this 27th day of August. Let's take a look at weather. It's 68 degrees. It feels like 75 out there today. It will be comfortable with some sun and clouds blended in tonight, partly cloudy and cool. Air quality right now is looking okay. It's moderate at 67. However, ragweed's elevated today. Temperatures reach 78 degrees today and drop down to 54 overnight as we head into Thursday. On Thursday, a high of 82, a low of 57. On Friday, a high of 80, a low of 56 degrees. And on Saturday, a high of 80, a low of 54. On Sunday, partly sunny skies, a high of 77, a low of 56. And that's a look at the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now. It is 68 degrees in downtown Alton. It feels like 75 out there for time and temperature throughout the day. 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane. He's your local State Farm agent. You can also stay up to date in real time all the time by going to RiverBender.com/weather or by downloading that RiverBender.com app today. 10:08. We'll take a quick break and we'll get back here with Centerstone and keep this Wednesday rolling right after this one. You stay there and I'll be here.
Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay it down, Sally. No need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you.
Welcome back. 10:12 on this Wednesday morning. Conversations with Centerstone continue. Stacy is the VP of Clinical Services, and good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. How are we doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. And, you know, it's just been great keeping up these conversations with Centerstone and really just learning more and more about the great services that you guys offer. And I know today that we'll be talking about a few different ones and really excited about that. And, you know, as we go right into this conversation, take us through your background and your day-to-day at Centerstone a little bit.
Sure. I actually started at Centerstone about 10 years ago, and I was a counselor originally. I worked with dual diagnosis clients, so individuals that had a mental health diagnosis and substance use diagnosis. And then I also worked with people in our medication-assisted treatment program, so they were dosing on methadone or being prescribed Suboxone. So since my time at Centerstone, I've just kind of grown in my roles. So I've added a few more service lines that I oversee, and I think we're going to talk about those a little bit today.
Well, and now before we go and talk about those services, just I'm sure it's been great to see the evolution and the additions of some of these programs too along the way as you've built and grown with the company, it seems like.
Absolutely. Like one just small example is our methadone dosing clinic in Alton has more than doubled since I've been there. When I started 10 years ago, we had a very extensive wait list with hundreds of people seeking services. And I can say that happily today, we have no wait list.
Wow.
And you can access services within the first day or so that you contact us.
It's just incredible. And, you know, let's start talking about some of those services. You know, I think the one that I think we should start out with first is that IOP, that intensive outpatient service that's offered. Take me through that. What's this one all about?
Sure. So we've offered IOP services for a while, but we did a revamp of the program within the last year. So intensive outpatient services is for somebody with a substance use diagnosis, and they are typically either stepping down from a residential treatment center and need additional support in their integration back into the community, or maybe they're struggling and they're living in a community, but they can't go to residential treatment. So we increase the level of service that we're providing them. In intensive outpatient, people typically come generally to group counseling, sometimes individual as well, for 9 or more hours every week.
Oh, wow. Well, and now see, that's what I love about a lot of Centerstone's programs, and really all of them, is the fact that it's a partnership between that individual and with Centerstone. And there's work that has to be put in on both sides to be successful. But if we, you know, have a drop, or maybe we kind of, you know, slip and fall a little bit, you guys are there whenever we're ready to go and start that journey again.
Absolutely. And, you know, client agreement and participation is the key to success, right? So we want to help them with what they're willing to do.
Well, and now it seems like, too, with this intensive outpatient program, that it's a great way to kind of have a step down from maybe some of the more of the involved programs that maybe we come to know and come to think about. You know, I think this is a great step down. And as you see somebody go from maybe a residential to an IOP, take me through that transition. What do you kind of notice just from maybe an administrator standpoint, or that clinician standpoint, when you're seeing somebody really hit that transition stage and ready to thrive?
I think the biggest thing that we've recognized is that we needed a level of support that was in between, right? So someone goes to residential treatment and they're receiving 25 hours of treatment every single week. They have a program every single hour of every single day. And then they're going right back into the community, and we needed a middle land, right? Most people were doing outpatient services that was 1 hour or a couple hours of group. But we've seen a lot higher rate of success when we increase that level of support as they transition from that residential treatment back into the community, their everyday life, the everyday stressors, right? Employment, kids, whatever that might be.
Well, and honestly, I think that's so important because to me, it seems like, and this is just my perspective or my interpretation of it, is about routines and having a schedule. And whenever you're getting back into an open field, so to speak, after coming down from a residential program, coming back from one, it's going to take some time. And so to have somebody there to give us some structure, because I need it more than anybody if I'm going through that, that helps to me in so many more ways than, you know, an hour or two, you know, maybe every other week or once a week to try to keep going.
Absolutely. And what you said is really important. The structure, right? They go from a very intensive structure, and typically people that are in active addiction or trying to lead their life in recovery, they have to change everything.
Yeah.
Right? So you might go back home, but it might be a different home because you can't live in the original place that you were residing at. You change your people, places, and things, right? That might mean your job, it might mean your family, it might mean your friends. So we need to increase the level of support that individuals have from residential to outpatient in the community setting.
Well, and now as we transition here and talking a little bit more about the MAT, the medication assisted treatment, do some of these programs go hand in hand with each other, like an MAT with an IOP and so forth?
Yes, absolutely. I can give you a couple of examples with that. So if we have somebody that's attending our methadone treatment program or Suboxone program, typically they might start at receiving that medication and receiving, like we talked about before, 1 or a couple hours of outpatient counseling. If we see that's not working for them, we can always increase the level of care, right? So that might mean if they can't leave their home, they have children, they have a job that they need to sustain, that maybe they can go into intensive outpatient in order to help support them in establishing their recovery. It also works very hand in hand with, we have a residential treatment site in Anna, Illinois, Fellowship House. And so some folks that are in our methadone dosing program in Marion or Alton will then go to residential treatment in Anna. We continue their medication. They can get stable in that program and then reintegrate within the community.
Well, and we've had the fellowship program, the fellowship house on the show before, and we've talked about it. And I think it's just a fantastic opportunity for so many people that are able to be a part of it and really have just some great opportunities to grow and really tackle this in such a beautiful setting too, out in nature and then around people that are in that same circumstance. And I think that's really important. And with medication assisted treatment, when does that start, or how early could it start? I think is the question there.
It really can start at any time. So sometimes people start in residential treatment and then decide they need that medication component of it. So we can initiate them on Suboxone treatment or methadone, whichever we feel like is the best for them and that they would like to be a part of. And when I say these medication assisted treatment, those are specific for opiate use disorders.
Yeah.
And then we also have people that, may walk in today and they're interested in starting a medication. And so we try to do that as quickly as possible. And I'd like to say within the first day or two, we can start them on a small dose, and then we do a titration schedule up until they feel stable.
Well, and that's what I was curious about, is just that timeline on that MAT and what that looks like. And I think so many people maybe have not a false interpretation, but maybe just an interpretation that doesn't really mirror what that program looks like. When you say whenever they're stable or they feel stable, is that just dependent on that individual, or are there some guidelines that you guys have to kind of follow along as well?
It's very individualized.
Okay.
Because like when you think about medication in general, right? Like I might have to take one Advil and it helps my headache, but you may have to take two Advil to address your headache. So when we talk about methadone and Suboxone treatment specifically, we look at withdrawal symptoms and cravings. And so we know if they're experiencing withdrawal symptoms, it does mean that their dose needs to increase. So we start them off at a low dose. We do assessments overall to determine if we feel like an increase is needed, as well as their report. And then we change their dose based on those measures. Very fascinating. And thanks for the insights on that. I just know that that's something that folks could be curious about. And one thing I wanted to hit on too is your guys' substance use disorder treatment facilities that are available too, like the Fellowship House and the Recovery Transitional House, which again, I think is another great facility. Take me through those two, and then afterwards we can also talk about some of your guys' coordinators too. Absolutely. So we have been working to develop the entire continuum of care for substance use. So someone can come into our residential treatment center in Anna, start in our detox services, move to that 28-day program. And then from there, maybe they don't think that IOP is a higher enough structured and supportive level of care, or maybe they're homeless and they don't have anywhere to go, they can move to our transitional living facility, which is in Marion, Illinois. And so you have to think that that's a little bit of a step down for them, but it is a 24-hour staff facility that we have clinical staff on staff, excuse me, and then we also have recovery support specialists. So there's people there to support them in their recovery. It's an extended stay, right? So they can be there anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and we're helping people get stabilized. So that might mean they're developing new friendships, they're obtaining employment. Maybe they don't know how to apply for a job, or they've never rented an apartment before. So the objective is to extend the length of residential supported treatment, and then they can reintegrate back into the community after that, whenever they feel comfortable, really, but it's typically about 6 months.
Well, and that's why I love the wraparound approach that you guys have, because it's not just, the end point is getting us, back into the regular pattern of life and battling that substance. It's also getting us prepared to go through life, because, so many times, and we've had these conversations with you all before, is you realize with your patients and clients is that, medications that were needed for our health, our physical health, maybe weren't followed, or we didn't go see a primary care provider in 10 years or 5 years or put the date on it. And so to go and have those steps and have that transition and to really give us skills and tools to be successful, I mean, that to me is the full package.
Absolutely. And you really nailed it on the head there, as far as you have to think that somebody that has been living in an active addiction and potentially have lost several aspects of their life, meeting their friends, their family, their employment, things like that. Do you think that they're addressing their physical health issues? No, they're not. And so when we get into recovery, then we have to address all those things, right? So we definitely support treating the whole person.
Well, and now when it comes to your coordinators, when it pertains to drug court, I always find this a really great aspect of what you guys are all about too, because this is really a great, you guys really are known for this, really, when it comes to these coordinators and the process you have for the folks that utilize them.
Absolutely. So we have a drug court coordinator. It's in our southern counties of Illinois, so Williamson, Franklin, and Jackson County. And that individual helps people move into that program and then support their recovery. So an individual might be facing a criminal charge that would be sentenced to prison. And that doesn't necessarily rehabilitate them, right? So they follow an intensive program for, I've seen up to 2 years. I think sometimes it's a year or 18 months. And if they complete that program successfully with the support of counseling and the legal system, I think that they can have those charges waived from their record.
I think that's just so important. And really, because of how many times you look at the recidivism charts that come out from a national level, and you realize that a lot of these are drug charges that really should, be handled in a different way, like with what you guys are doing with these coordinators. It's really important. One thing I wanted to hit on at the end is the DUI services that you offer, because I didn't know that you guys offer this, so I'm learning something new for the first time today. Fill me in on this if you could.
Yeah, so if someone gets a DUI, they have to come in for an evaluation. And with that evaluation, we make recommendations. So if it's a one-time mistake, I made a bad decision to drive after I was drinking, then you might be recommended for some risk education. But then we might have people that, have a chronic and alcohol use disorder that have made some mistakes a couple of times. And with that, we would recommend a higher level of treatment. So we do the evaluation, and then we recommend treatment based on the evaluation, and then they can complete that treatment with us as well. And then we give those recommendations back to the Secretary of State in order for them to be considered for reinstatement of license.
That's really fascinating. And honestly, it seems like, with this too, that individual, if you have to go through that, the journey that is if you're honest about it too, I'm sure if you go in for that, DUI assessment, and you go through and talk about it and say, this is the first time I was caught, but let's be honest, I've kind of done this a few times and haven't gotten caught. You're helping yourself more than you realize, because you're able to really start talking about maybe the issue that you're facing or why you're doing it. And I think that that's really an important note too.
Absolutely.
Well, and now how important is it going into that conversation of transparency, and honesty with that clinician, with whatever service we're talking about? We've talked about so many of them today, and with that individual, because I know that, sometimes maybe there's an overshare or two. I don't know how that works, but I think sometimes just because we're all human, we go in and say, well, I'm going to, make sure that I'm presenting this front today, or I'm going to go into my, counseling service and, for the first time. And this is what I want to address. And I think when we do that, we put up barriers for growth when it comes to our mental health, and we start to almost root ourselves in that reality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, honesty really is key, right? But in the counseling setting, it's also important to develop a relationship so someone would feel comfortable telling me the things that they might not necessarily want to admit. That might not happen early on. But truthfully, to move through a recovery and to make sustainable changes, honesty is going to have to happen there.
Well, and see, that's why I think your clinicians and your staff is so good at what they do, because they work on those partnerships, and everyone at Centerstone values them. And that's what wants me to bring to my last point, is the fact that you guys take care of your staff. And we were talking with a few throughout the year about, the stressors that are on your staff because of, the situations that they're helping, manage, and some of the things that they hear throughout the day. And, how important is the morale of a staff when it comes to what you guys do? Because it seems like if you have an unhappy person, that service in that session could go pretty wonky.
Yeah, absolutely. How can I help someone else if I'm not being honest myself, like we just talked about, right? Or not taking care of myself. So we definitely try to, we talk about some heavy stuff, right? So we try to offer the opportunities to staff to meet with supervisors, meet as a group, consult as needed, take time as needed, and know when you really need a break.
Mm-hmm. And Stacy, before I let you go, we'd be remiss not to point out that September 6th is the Life Story Run and Walk, and that's going to be up in Marion, correct?
There is Marion, and there's a satellite location going on in Godfrey.
Oh, really cool. And we'll make sure to link that as well. And before I let you go, is there anything else you want the public or the region to know about today about Centerstone?
I just want people to know that there's always people there to help them. We welcome people to walk in. There's no issue too small, even if it's just a session or two, or if it's something that's been going on for a while. Please seek us out if you need help.
Absolutely. Stacy, it was great talking with you. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you. You too.
We'll take a quick break. More Daily Show with Lacy McDonald joining us next right after this on RiverBender.com. Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
Plenty of car dealers, plenty of options for people to choose from. What's your formula for success, right?
Number one, you got to have a good bank, you got to have a good team, and you got to have loyal customers. It takes all three of those in order to make something work.
Yeah. In a town like the size of ours, a good relationship with our customers is very important. You want them to know this is a place to come, just like you guys want people to know Carolyn Banks is a place to come.
Discover Del Mar Public House, located in Godfrey's historic Clifton Schoolhouse. Enjoy bold flavors like homemade falafel, fish and chips, and rotating pasta favorites. Relax with local beers, half-price wine bottles, and summer poutine nights. The only thing missing is you. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Del Mar Public House, where great food, drinks, and friends come together. DelMarPublicHouse.com.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
What's up? It's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it.
This is Libby Coots. Libby was a math major who graduated from Lewis and Clark in 2010. She's a math teacher and the girls golf coach at Edwardsville High School. She even has her LC diploma in her classroom and always tells her students how life-changing Lewis and Clark was for her.
I'm Libby Kuntz, and I'm a trailblazer.
Throughout all life stages, you need someone in your corner, guiding you on your health and wellness journey. At OSF Healthcare, that's your primary care provider. Your OSF primary care provider is there for every stage of life. Find a provider today at osfhealthcare.org/primary.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
And don't rock the jukebox. Wanna hear George Jones? 'Cause my heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stone. I don't feel like rocking since my baby's gone. So don't rock the jukebox.
Oh, God, I'm telling you, I'd make some money if they really let me go off. Welcome back. 10:34. Hold on. 10:35 officially.
All right.
We hit a time block. Lacy.
Yes.
Car accidents happened 100 years ago. What a sad one.
Super sad. I know. This was a sad article. Sorry. The benefit of me doing an article every single week means that if you don't want to read a sad article, you can wait until next week and it'll be, oh, you all right?
Yeah, I tweaked something. I didn't really sleep last night, but I kind of like still laid wrong.
Yeah.
And now I can't even pop it. It's like locked up. So I just
Yeah.
walk it around like somebody that's an elected official in Congress, 80 plus.
Just can't quite move your body in normal ways.
Maybe I should run for office now that I can't move.
There you go.
I don't know.
So anyway, if you don't want to read a sad article, then this is not the article for you, but there are 51 others in the year that are not sad. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the article, and I'm going to talk about why I wrote it. So the article is about two sisters, Prudence Chappell, who was 29, and her 12-year-old sister, Pearl, and they were killed in a car accident in 1925. I told you it was sad.
Oh, man.
It's really sad.
This is awful.
It's really, really sad.
Okay.
But one of the things that I try to do is talk about, it's twofold, talk about people that might not have any, like we don't remember otherwise.
Yeah.
And also talk about things that have changed in a way that we can look at it now and see the progression of like safety and stuff like that. So the first part of that, Prudence was a teacher at Granite City Community High School. She'd been a teacher at Alton High. She taught business classes. at both places, and then a night business class in St. Louis where her family lived. She lived for.
Did they do?
part of the time.
Was train kind of the mode of transportation back and forth that like is that because to me that's a lot of distance to travel.
Well, she was driving back and forth from St. Louis every day
Wow.
for her job. Yeah. Because
Wow.
there was an article a couple years before that about driving back and forth because her mother had died. And so she wanted to be at home with her sister after her mother died. Her father later remarried, but while she was in Alton, it talked about that. Like she wanted to be there for her sister after her mother died. So she was staying in St. Louis, even though she was working in Alton, so that she could be there with her family. But at this point, when this car accident happened, the two sisters were on a trip. They went around the Great Lakes. They'd done a month-long trip to Chicago,
Wow.
to Wisconsin, Michigan, and they were right home because the school year was about to start, and she was teaching at Granite City High School. And there was some slick road in near Dwight, Illinois. They were just quarter mile north of Dwight, Illinois, and in a Buick Roadster, it skidded 200 feet on wet pavement and overturned. Prudence died instantly. Pearl died, I think, like 12 hours later. It was absolutely horrific. So a really, really sad story. Also, Pearl had been at St. Louis Children's Hospital for like a year because she had heart disease.
Oh,
and
wow.
so she was well enough to go on this trip, and then it ended very tragically. I know where they're buried. They're buried at Memorial Park Cemetery in Jennings, Missouri. I don't know if they have gravestones. There's not anything on Find a Grave. That may mean that they don't have gravestones. That may mean that nobody has photographed the gravestones and uploaded them onto Find a Grave. So not sure about that. But I just wanted to highlight these two, this girl and this woman who otherwise we wouldn't be thinking about. We wouldn't be talking about 100 years later. It's kind of like with Vintage Voices where you like acknowledge people that lived here who aren't around anymore and who might not have been famous isn't exactly the right word, but like might not have been someone whose memory was passed on
Gotcha.
through time, especially because neither one of them obviously had children. They didn't have descendants. So I just wanted to sort of acknowledge their lives.
Yeah.
And then the other part about that is I learned a lot about anti-lock brakes because you didn't have anti-lock brakes in 1925. If there was wet road, you skidded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were ways it's like pumping the brakes. There were other ways to like try to get out of a skid, but there weren't systems like that. And so they started inventing anti-lock brake systems kind of soon after that, but they were for airplanes at first. And then motorcycles started having anti-lock brakes in the 1950s as an option. But for cars, they weren't on any cars until the 1970s and weren't standard issue till the 1990s. And so kind of like thinking about car accidents, specifically, I was in a car accident 2 years ago. And if I hadn't had side airbags, I might not be here. And so thinking about all of the things that we have not died from, like all the things that you would just instantly die from 100 years ago versus the things that most of us have lived through now, be that a car accident or some sort of illness, bacterial infection. It's just kind of shocking to think about the differences in safety. And so I walked away from this grateful for analog brakes, which is something I'd never really even thought about before.
Only controversial question.
Okay.
Why was she living in this alderman's home?
Okay. Also, she was living in the alderman's home with the family.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a postcard that his wife had gotten the day before from them. Like, see you soon. Well, I know.
That's actually really sad.
It's really sad. I didn't include that because it was just really sad.
Yeah.
But lived with his family, I think because that's where she was teaching, but she
Probably
was
just closer
during,
distance.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people in that time period.
What was
would,
the
like,
gas
rent a room.
mileage of a Model T?
Well, they were in a
they were in a
Roadster.
Buick. Yeah, I'm gonna Google that.
Okay,
I'm gonna use the Google machine.
Use the Google machine. But yeah, so she was living at the alderperson's house with his family during the school year, and then in St. Louis like the rest of the time. But I think it probably just like rented a room, or maybe that was a benefit. Like a lot of teachers didn't obviously have like families and stuff, and so they might live with someone in the area.
14 miles a gallon.
There are still cars that only get 14 miles a gallon.
Yeah, but I mean, people want those cars. I mean, that's like if you get a Wrangler, you aren't expecting to go very far.
Well, that's true.
I mean, this is all they had. This was like the 32 mile a gallon.
Yes.
Could you imagine how many times you have to fill up?
Yeah, a lot.
Especially if you're driving that distance.
Yeah, I mean, they were driving.
Did people was that normal? Driving that far every day, and doing all the different stops?
Like when she was going from St. Louis?
Like now it is, of course, but was it back then?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think that they did a lot of recreational driving. Like you would drive to see relatives in Jerseyville on the weekends, and then they'd write about it in the newspaper, or drive to St. Louis to visit people on the weekends. Or for a social call. But I don't know,
I got you.
Commuting. Ooh, okay.
The average person traveled approximately 1,056 miles by car in 1925.
And how much do they travel now? If you don't have a comparison,
hold on,
then the numbers mean nothing.
Okay, hold on. So we got 1,056.
Okay.
Approximately 12,000 miles per year.
Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense because that looks a lot like the difference in how many people owned cars.
Yeah.
Or how many people drove.
Oh my God. Indiana, if you live there, the average miles driven by state, Indiana, 20,560 miles a year.
So they're almost double the average.
Man.
Not quite, but.
Illinois is at 12,193.
Okay, so average.
I think it's because Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a good thing to blame Chicago for because it's not controversial. It's just there's not a lot of car driving.
Not blaming. It's just.
Well, I'm blaming it. We could be number one.
But do we want to be number one in driving?
It'd be better than being number one in a crime or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's not either or.
I was trying to win an award that was positive.
It's not like they pass out one award in each state.
They take it away whenever you have a bad award, so it just cancels out.
Right.
Oh, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and chat with Lacy a bit more. I hope my shoulder feels. Meh.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and it will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Gonna get fired if I don't get some sleep. My long lost buddies say I'm getting in too deep, but I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. I try.
Welcome back.
I can't rise above it.
10:45. 20,000. No wonder people in Indiana are boring. All they do is drive.
Maybe they listen to interesting podcasts or something.
If it ain't mine, I don't care. If it ain't mine, I don't care.
Don't care.
What about Howard Stern? Whatever happened to that? Is he gone? Did they hack him?
Who?
Howard Stern. You hear about that? They weren't going to renew his contract.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know. I remember. I like listening to old Stern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's kind of like those are the things that I could never say, but I'm like, wow, that guy said them. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
little bit living vicariously.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of.
Like, not quite, but
Yeah.
just like, you're like, oh.
What a show. You know, like, regardless of how good or bad it was content-wise, it was a show. I mean, you're like, you could not turn it off. I guess. Some people could. Some people just despise the man still to this day. Remember that one crazy guy that was on the air around here? What was his name? He had the radio, the 1430. Remember him?
No, it was maybe before my Alton time.
All right, back to Lacy's segment. So with that being said, I mean, this is a sad one, but it really shows you, I mean, I was watching a video, and it got a bunch of attention because Rogan talked about it one day, and like I saw it before Rogan, just want to throw that out there. But it was about like this news station, it was a local news station in the South, and it was when they were starting to enforce seatbelt laws.
Oh.
And they were enforcing like no drinking in the car and driving.
Yeah.
And man, you would have thought that the communists were taking over that day. Like people were like, what are they trying to do? Trying to make this a communist country because I work 12 hours and can't have a beer in my car anymore? I'm like, oh my God, like it's wild. It's like, I don't know. It's like whenever I turned 21 or I turned 18 and could buy cigarettes and I'm like, became a smoker because I was stupid. And then I'm like, all of a sudden the next year it was like, you can't buy cigarettes until you're 21 now, pal. I'm like,
wait,
what? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They changed that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't get cigarettes. And they
been
let me
21 in a
smoke
while.
and then took it away.
Oh.
That's what creates problems.
So, okay. I feel like we took a weird tangent there because
I don't know.
I feel like you being able to smoke cigarettes and then not is maybe like kind of a problem, but people not being able to drink in their car is a good thing that they can't drink in their car.
Some people can. I'm not trying to be the guy. I know I have a platform to reach. I just, some people we've seen, you would never tell if they were inebriated driving. Have you ever seen that? I have a buddy of mine that I'm telling you, you would never notice.
But have you ever been in a wreck with him?
No.
So you don't know how he would respond to like a situation.
That's true.
Because I feel like, you can fake it through a lot of things and just see. No, but
that's true.
But like those reaction times, even if they're dull just a little bit.
Oh no, you're right. I'm not arguing with you on the importance.
I know you're not. We're not having a debate of like whether drinking and driving is good or not. Like that's not what this is. But I think that even if somebody seems like they're totally okay to drive or operate heavy machinery or whatever they're doing, if it's even just a little bit dulled, then you don't know what your reaction times, because it might be that someone runs across the street, like a child runs across the street, or a light turns that you're not expecting.
Yeah, that's true.
And even if you react, if you're not reacting,
let me rephrase that. I'm talking. Okay. I should rephrase with low traffic situations, like a 1 a.m. drive home or a 2 a.m. drive home. When there's not a lot of things going on in town.
I get that, but also then you've got several people that are like that.
Yeah, tons. Have you driven around downtown at noon? You know what I'm talking about when the lunch crowds get out and it's like, what is happening here? Have you ever seen that?
I don't know. Not in a driving.
You haven't seen that down here? Oh, it's amazing when the lunch crowd gets out for like they got to get back before the kids do type of thing,
okay.
And you're like, oh man, like you're just like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a DUI coming out the door. Like it's just crazy.
When the lunch crowd gets out.
Like when they go for lunch. You haven't seen that? Like,
so people are drinking during lunch and then...
Oh, yeah, driving all the time in this town.
God.
All the time. I swear.
No, I believe you.
It's amazing.
I believe you.
But it's like,
I just don't like it.
But you know what's that's what I think is amazing to me, that so many people still are like, hell with a $10,000 DUI. Let's just go ahead and keep driving.
Please don't drink and
Don't
drive.
do that. That's my point. But it's
drive.
amazing to me though. Like it's almost like you see so many people do it. You're like, you think it's normal, and it's not.
Right.
That's
like,
kind of my bigger point on this.
You're absolutely right, because if it gets normalized, then you don't realize that it's you can talk yourself out of it being a bad idea. It's like, oh well, if a lot of people do it and nothing bad happens.
Well, people get so pissed at me because I don't. I will not drive. If someone invites me out, I'm like, all right, how are we getting there?
Oh, right.
I'm not driving.
Right.
We can Uber, or we can find a DD, but I am not going to have my vehicle near anywhere of me driving. Seriously, if people get mad, I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Good, see you tomorrow. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole thing about this.
No, I think it's.
But anyway, it takes me back to the seatbelt thing, too.
Yes.
This woman was just brutally angry. She had her baby in the front seat of the car still, had the cigarette hanging out of her mouth. And this is in the 1970s, is that
Right.
or 80s, so I can, talk trash on her. But she was like, what do they expect next, for all of us to just go ahead and fall in line like this is the Soviets? And I'm like, what? Like, come on, it's a seatbelt.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before. That's one of the main reasons that people don't die these days in car accidents at the rate that they used to because of seatbelt laws. It was seatbelt laws, enforcement of drunk driving laws.
And safety probably.
And safety, safety issues. Car seats for children was a major one. And that's what gets me. Like, if you're not going to wear a seatbelt, do your thing.
Yeah.
But like, a child?
Oh, dude, don't even get me going on that.
Or anyone else that you're responsible for? That's just not okay.
I always love the people that are like, they have their baby or kid in their car and they're driving like a moron. And it's like, I don't care if you're by yourself and you wrap around, but like, you have a child in there,
Yeah.
But it's so fascinating though, because back then, it's not like they had the roads they had now anyway.
Right, right. It's a very good point.
So like, it's not like we're on the highway with beautiful blacktop and, well, depending on what part of 270 you're on, and then you're good to go. I mean, they were probably on brick a lot of the times or on a lot of just dirt road, I'm sure.
Dirt, cinder.
Yeah. And how hard that would be to stop in the water. I mean, that's really a driving hazard.
Yeah. And I don't even know.
Did they have and windshields were, I mean, I guess it wasn't boxed all the way in yet, were they?
I'm not sure because Roadster makes me think of like a convertible Roadster. See what a Buick Roadster in 1925 looks like. But I mean, they didn't even necessarily have 2-lane roads with markings.
Well, they did have a top, but I guess they had a top. They had it both, but it was a convertible.
It wasn't a top where, even if there was a top, it wasn't a top where if you overturned, you were going to be okay.
Oh gosh, no!
Like this is not a Jeep.
No,
like, this is not.
It's like a canopy. Yeah, really, is what it is.
Yeah, maybe like a cloth canopy.
That's what it
like
is. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what. Here, I'm doing good at my job today. Let's see. Hold on here. I'm finding a lot of good information. Oh, okay. That's because I hit I'm like, why is it zooming out when I'm zooming in? I wasn't. I was zooming out. Let's see. See?
Yeah. So something like this would have been what they were driving.
Yeah, that's that little canopy right there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not a safe car. For
it's crazy though that there's still other countries that don't have a lot of safety requirements.
Yes.
Like, it just brings me to that point. Like,
yes.
There was a zip line? No, maybe it was a ski lift crash or something in like Russia somewhere. And it was because like they were, like even the Russian media, as propagandists as they are, were like, yeah, no, it's because we didn't check this since 1964. And it's like, what? Oh man. And like, to be honest with you, like I freak out. Like I told you about my parasailing thing and how I was like having just a coronary.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. To come to find, they like examine these things like every day. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always these constant checks. And what's crazy is like not a lot of the other portions of the world follow it with how like up to date and current everyone else is with being in the tech age.
It worries me in the United States that if we're going to loosen safety regulations on a lot of different industries, like that's terrifying. I don't want that to be something that happens here, and it's something I worry about.
Like that's why I don't get on. I mean, I shouldn't say. That's why I don't get on carnival rides. I shouldn't say that, and I'm gonna get in so much trouble for. I refuse to. Like I'm like it's cool. Like I know nothing ever goes wrong when I'm here, but I just no, thank you.
I feel the same way.
Wow. At least see. I mean, I shouldn't say that with homecomings coming up. Like, I feel so bad for even throwing that out there.
I know. But I, it just feels like there are so many things, especially with carnival rides that get
because they're
taken
moving
to lots
all
of
the
different
time.
places. One screw gets lost somewhere and somebody doesn't realize it. I don't like it either.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the episode of that TLC show where the person marries the carnival ride and falls in love with it?
No,
that's a real thing.
I think if I was going to fall in love with an inanimate object, it wouldn't be a carnival ride. But I mean, who knows?
Hey, each their own. I just brought me doing it next.
It doesn't hurt anyone.
Wanted to throw that out there in a show lately, so I'm glad I got to do that now.
Put that in this one.
But I'm glad that especially with her being an educator and then having, I'm sure just the impact that she made on those students' lives and how much traveling she did with multiple classes. Mm-hmm. That she really that people did remember. And you're right. There's so many people that do some really cool stuff that always seem to be forgotten about eventually, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, and one thing that I thought was really nice is in October, the Madison County Teachers Institute honored her memory in memory of William E. Kelly, who is Isaac Kelly's son, who I'm going to talk about more when we do that. But Rita Webster and H.T. McCrae during their annual meeting. And so in October, I'm going to talk a little bit about all of them and that meeting and everything. So that'll be a follow-up article. But so she was,
That's really
at least
cool.
in her time, she was acknowledged and remembered. But yeah, I mean, we even have a photo of her, which is kind of a nice thing, and a quote.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
What are you writing about next week?
Lyman Trumbull.
Hot damn, I was ready for that
Yeah.
one. So what's this one about? Just the life of and legacy of our man Lyman?
It's not specifically the life and legacy of Lyman Trumbull. It's an article where the postmaster for Alton received this letter asking for information about Lyman Trumbull, James Semple, and David Jewett Baker, who were all senators from Illinois who lived in this area at one time. And so the government was putting together like biographical information about them and wanted to make sure that what they had was correct. And so thought, if there were relatives living in the area or other people that had known them, they could check the information and send it back. So I've got a little bit about each one of those men. And Lyman Trumbull was the longest serving and the probably most influential in terms of American politics.
100%.
One of the most influential senators of all time.
100%.
And he's one of those people, the more you read, the more impressed you are.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously a lot of us know about the Supreme Court, being on the Supreme Court, making the decision, or right when the opinion, wasn't he? Didn't he write the opinion?
Well,
on
he
the
was on the
14th?
Illinois Supreme Court.
Yeah,
and then he's the one that wrote the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Dissolving slavery.
Yeah.
He was more adamant.
That's what
about slavery being abolished than Lincoln. He was kind of pushing. Lincoln was anti-slavery, but he was pushing Lincoln to be more adamant about it.
Well, because Lincoln had the different situation of having to still corral.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying you did.
I'm not talking about
I'm
Lincoln.
not saying that. It's just interesting though because it's just the different platforms that those two share. Because you're right. If you learn about just read a little bit about Lyman as a senator, it's crazy some of the things that he very very boldly wrote and thought about out loud.
Yeah, and he changed parties several times because if what the party that he was in was not serving him, he was like, I'm out, I'm doing something else, which I think is kind of cool because...
I think we're at a point where that's getting ready to happen. Because I think, honestly, we had it used to be that way. I mean, the Whig Party lasted, 2 days? And then you had all these things. So it's one of those where I think here in the next 10 years, we're going to see a new party emerge, maybe two new ones.
I hope we get more people like Lyman Trumbull and all
That's
of that.
what I hope so, too. Yeah. Oh, hey, some interesting notes. You remember Pat Robertson? He was the televangelist that started the... Got a good one.
Okay.
We're going to be talking to his former bodyguard who wrote a book. Okay.
Really? Okay.
And a little bit of behind the fourth wall of televangelism, if you will. It's going to be very fascinating.
Okay.
Very excited for that one. And then also coming up is going to be Randy from Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you've ever seen this show. Really excited to have him on the show.
I can't believe I'm on the same level of people you interview as...
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
But yeah, he's going to be on. He's coming to Peoria, so we're going to be chatting with him in a couple of weeks too. I think next week, maybe the following. But we're going to be talking to David Wilcox. He's the bodyguard of Pat Robertson next week. This is going to be really interesting. Former bodyguard.
Do you end up?
Yeah,
Just
every
connections.
Broken clock is right once a day. With that being said, Lacy, thank you for your time, and thank you. Beautiful day. Don't spend it at work. I will see you tomorrow. on that Thursday. We're almost out of August. Until then, enjoy the day. Try your best to stay out of jail.